Welcome back to Popcorn and Beers. We've met you at the movies for almost 2 years now. We have been on your journey. We are about to reapproach Oscar seasons, but before that, the summer disaster flick. So let's get right into it, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. It's better if you pour it in a glass, right? You know, no one knew that until you opened your mouth.
I just got this Louis the 13th. Oh, nice.
Especially for you. You're a bartender. You could have made up any plethora of drinks, but you were too damn honest.
It's just straight roofie. You got about 10 minutes before this show's over on my end. Let's go.
I will forget this episode. What's funny is I was riding to the movie with somebody, and you know the drivers. They're kind or whatever. They're doing their thing, being nice to you, hopefully. And he's asking me like, "Oh, what are you going to go see?" And we're talking. I was like, "Twisters." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm exhausted," because he also asked me where I flew in from. I was like, "But I got to get this movie in because I couldn't see it in England before I flew out because I worked so late, and I couldn't see it the day that I flew out because my car service picked me up at 7:30. So I literally got here, looked up the earliest time of the movie, got all my stuff at the hotel, jumped into my Uber, got there right as the movie was starting, like right as they're getting into it.
Wow.
Nice.
Got to get your snacks, too. You got to get your snacks. Go ahead, Jordan.
No, I said nice, dude. That's sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah, you got to rush it. You got to rush it. It was
funny, though.
Worth it,
it's hard to be late for a movie these days in general because, like, thinking back to, like, in the old days, we got to get there because the trailers begin right on time.
And the seats.
But nowadays, you got about 45 minutes before you see a trailer. Like, the movie's showtime is at 7. We got about 20 minutes of ads, and it's awful. I hate it.
Yeah, but 35 minutes of trailers
somehow.
So I'm gonna shout out the theater here in Denver. I got there, and literally the movie started at 30, okay, at 5:30, and I got there into the theater at 5:41, and it was on.
Wow,
it was on. That's exactly what I said. I was like, what? Crazy. So what we're talking about, of course, is the butter on top, Twisters. Jordan, you were the first to see it, and you've got a little what we were watching this week as it pertains to the original Twister.
Yeah.
So what did you think?
I thought it was a good reboot, for sure, as far as good reboots go. The cast of the new one, Twisters, it was all right. It wasn't nowhere near the cast of the original one. The original one had Philip Seymour Hoffman, Bill Paxton,
Pullman.
Helen Hunt.
Bill Pullman. Yeah, Helen Hunt. Sorry.
The Bills. The curse of the Bills got you.
Yeah. A lot of notable character actors as well. This one had some recognizable faces, and the cast was mostly good, except for that guy that was it's Tyler Owens in the movie, right? Is his name?
You're talking about Glenn Powell?
Glenn Powell, yeah. His character is Tyler Owens or something.
Yeah.
Tyler something. The guy that plays his camera man buddy, who's really over the top. He annoyed the hell out of me the whole movie.
But is that just the character or the actor? Which one was it?
I think
whatever he was trying to do didn't work.
Yeah, he was really, really over the top for a lot of the movie, and then sometimes he would just switch really fast from being kind of the straight man to kind of way too over the top.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
He took me out of it a bit. The effect
that was Brandon Pereira.
Yeah, poor guy.
Boone.
Boone, yeah, better luck next time, Boone.
Boone.
The effects were really good, really cool. For the original, the effects were probably fantastic for their time.
For the time,
they're probably really good. I think there was one scene in the original that I was like, that's really bad CGI right there. That was rough. There was one specific scene kind of towards the end. But it did stick to the roots of the original. It had references, they still call the machine Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz references and yada yada. The soundtrack is really good. They got a lot of big artists to make some songs for this.
Ludacris.
No.
It is straight country. The soundtrack is straight country. It is a straight country soundtrack.
There are some hit songs that are going to come out of that soundtrack. I mean, Jelly Roll's got one on there. It's really good.
Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll. I like to shout out Jelly Roll. I give it a popcorn and one. Honestly, it's just cheesy. It's corny, but it's a good movie. This is a really fun, perfect summer movie. It's just not a great movie. It's just kind of ridiculous. The whole guy, his truck that anchors into the ground.
I thought that was cool. my muscle brains were like, I want that.
It's very cool, but it's just the Tyler Owens guy and his crew, they drive into fireworks so that they can put YouTube videos out of them shooting fireworks up its butthole, up a tornado's butthole. And they're like, it's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I could see people doing something like that in real life, and it's just dumb. Like, I wouldn't even want to watch that on YouTube. So in a movie, it's just dumb. And for that to be a major premise of the movie, it's just overall dumb. So, the love story is, I guess I'm kind of spoiling some here, but like, they don't actually kiss. The love story is very much there, but there's just no
I like that they don't do that. I like that.
Physicality to it, yeah.
You didn't like that? I love that. I just give me the tension. I don't need you to hook up. I don't need a love story. I've been saying that forever. I don't need it. Like, this is a movie about tornadoes making love with each other.
The presence, there's tension present, but there's no movement forward in that arc. And I think that's very interesting. I'm down.
Yeah, and the ending of Twisters was perfect. I think they really, really hit that little, like, they always try to throw you a little twist, a little flare of, like, a little of something, and I think they hit that very perfect. This was a popcorn and one. I'm giving the original a popcorn and one too. They're almost the same movie, just of a different time period.
Cool.
That's a lot of my review, Jordan. So I appreciate you. Mm-hmm. Definitely a popcorn and one movie, but it's a good movie. It's a good popcorn and one. Like, you're not going to be mad that you saw this movie. You're going to be like, I loved it. That was cool. I saw tornadoes wrecking shop. I feel bad for Oklahoma because the most abused party in this whole movie is Oklahoma. Yeah. Oklahoma gets abused by these tornadoes just repeatedly. And they're like, it's funny because even when they start...
The next town over is still dealing with the tornado that hit a couple months ago.
Shit, you live there. I forgot. I'm sorry, Josh.
Like, we got trees in the downtown streets and shit. Yeah.
Didn't you have to get in like a pit for a tornado recently or something like that?
We had to get it ready just in case. Yeah. Okay. So now my storm den is clean. And that's nice.
Yeah. Nice little storm den cleaning. So this movie, really, the victim in this movie is the state of Oklahoma. Like, even on all the Doppler radars, it only shows Oklahoma. It's like, everywhere else is green. Oklahoma's screwed. Like, in every single news setting.
We get wind from four directions.
It is soaked in nostalgia. It is absolutely... Like, they dress up the lead actress, Kate, right? That's her name, Kate, in this film. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they dress her up even like Helen Hunt in Twister. Like, literally, they put her in the white tank top, the cargo pants. Like, yeah. They dress her up exactly like that.
Mm-hmm. Big fan.
Well, she was America's crush for a long time, right? Helen Hunt.
I loved her. Like, that's for sure.
She was where it was at. Like, every young man. It was almost like Nicole Kidman. Like, Nicole Kidman, Helen Hunt, like, ruled that era. So her name is Kieran Shipka. And I felt like, you better look out. Yeah, you better watch out, Dakota Johnson, because Kieran is a better version of you. She can actually act a little bit.
Vaguely flirty girl in town.
With like the vaguely deadpan face all the time. Like, you better watch out. She's coming for your crown. So she took me out of the movie quite a couple times. Like, she wasn't great, but she was better than seeing Dakota Johnson in the movie. Like, I would have hated that. But quite honestly, I don't know if you agree, Jordan. You could have just switched the two of them, and it would have been the same movie.
Yeah, for sure. There's that meme where it's like, you're telling me this isn't the same person, and it's like Margot Robbie next to the you know what I'm exactly
Jamie
what I'm
Presley,
about. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's Dakota Johnson, Daisy Edgar Ridley, and that girl,
Kiernan Shipka.
Yeah.
Anthony Ramos was hard too to take in this movie. Like, he wasn't amazing. He was he existed. Anyone I think could have played Anthony Ramos' role.
I just see him dressed up like in Hamilton every single time I see him in a movie. I'm like, Hamilton.
Sorry. I think I had the wrong name. I think it's Daisy Edgar Jones.
Daisy Edgar Jones, yeah.
Daisy Edgar Jones.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say, is Daisy Edgar Jones.
Yeah, Daisy Edgar Jones. Katie M. O'Brien is having a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Katie M. O'Brien was in Ant-Man Quantumanium. She was in Love Lies Bleeding. She was in another movie I watched this recently. And she is the buff girl. She's the new buff girl. She's our age. She's 35. So it must have taken her a while to break in. But she is literally in so many movies. Mandalorian she's been in recently. She was in Sweet Girl. Like, she's having a straight moment.
Look out, Gina Carano.
Yeah, that's it. That is. You nailed it. She is the new Gina Carano. Like, perfect, actually, Josh. I also really, really like Sasha Lane in this. She's in a show that I wish would get a second season on Amazon. I don't know how Amazon picks and chooses, but some reason this show, which is great, it's called Utopia on Amazon. She's the lead in this, and she's in this as the drone pilot, and she was fantastic too. She played a great character. Popcorn and one for me. Glenn Powell, whatever. I don't get it, but he's a good actor. He's doing fine. But like I said, he's the next Bradley Cooper.
He's got punchable face for sure, but he's a really good actor. I think he's a pretty good actor.
Well, Killer, Hitman. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, that really showed what he's capable of. He is. I'm not saying he's not good looking. He's just like, I don't know that I get it, but I get it more than Timothée Chalamet. Like, I do. I get it.
He's supposed to be like the new hunk kind of guy actor of this time that they're trying to make him to be. And just any women I talk to that are like, I don't like that guy. His face, he's got smug D-bag face. Like, and that's coming from, the women who's supposed to be appealing to for the most part. But
you know what, Jordan? You know who I'm sure had smug D-bag face to a lot of people? Paul Walker. Oh. Paul Walker. And Joyride starred Paul Walker and a payphone. Josh, what is your take on Joyride? Jordan, it was your drunk classic, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it. I'd never heard of it, and I'm happy. No, I'm happy I watched it. Once again, I watched this on Prime, and they have the trivia that you can pop in. I'm not going to say them all, but I thought it was interesting that it's not called Joyride in the UK, because Joyride in the UK means stealing cars and running away from the police. It was called Roadkill in the UK. Anyway, pretty cool movie, and I love Steve Zahn. I forgot. Yeah. I love Steve Zahn. I forgot.
Do it. Come on, man.
I thought his character was absolutely ridiculous. I know what they were trying to do, and I know it worked for the movie, but like, he made like really dumb decisions, like really dumb throughout. He just kept making stupid like. Now I'm gonna go bang my brother's crush, like
for no reason.
I don't know, he's drunk and all, but like, godly, dude, what the fuck? Anyway, the whole movie's his fault, so it tracks, right? Like the whole movie's it's because of him, so that tracks. Anyway, it reminded me a lot of what's that one with Russell Crowe that came out like when we first started making this show. Where it's like the Unhinged. Road Rage movie, Unhinged. Really reminded me of Unhinged. I would say overall Unhinged did it better, but this version of the movie was great. I loved how like in the halfway point, okay, obviously it's not over, but like it feels like it's totally over, and they're just having a nice fun road trip again, and then like boom. But then also, how is this dude like road Batman? How does he like set up the signs? He makes things like all these like really well thought out. He's just a guy in a truck.
There was no girl.
Shout out to that dude. I forgot his name. There Will Be Blood guy.
Yeah.
Not There Will Be Blood guy. The guy from Monk, like the chief of police from Monk, who has the mustache. And
he's in a lot of stuff.
Like, Lambs,
I think he plays like Damian Priestley too. Like, I don't know. He plays a lot of characters.
He plays a lot of characters, and he's like a renowned killer in Silence of the Lambs.
He's in Cobra too, with Sylvester Stallone. Yeah.
He's in a lot of stuff. I love him.
I don't know if I'd be what you expect.
It was a really like fun movie. Definitely a nice summertime blockbuster Friday night kind of movie.
Yeah.
Pretty intense when it got intense, and that was pretty cool. But the whole movie, you're like, what's the deal with this brother? And it would have been better if they went further into that relationship. but they didn't really explore that quite enough for it to be a fully formed thought kind of thing. Like they could have like really had a moment between the brothers at the end or something where somebody does something. It's not, anyway. Popcorn 1. I liked it.
Jordan?
Yeah, I was going to come out and be like, I'm sorry for making you guys watch this movie. It's just a really bad, objectively bad movie. But it's a fun bad movie, at least at that. Like, it's just got enjoyable. This was one of those movies where in the somewhat early days of DVDs, like when people didn't have a collection of 200 DVDs, when you
Red
just
box,
had like, you just had like 10 or you just rented.
Oh, always. Always. It was always there.
Yeah. So
like Belly's always on at your black friend's house.
Yeah.
This was when my parents first split. This was one of my dad in his bachelor phase. This was like one of the 5 movies that he just had all the time. So I fell asleep to this movie so many times as a very small young man. And I loved this movie. It was like a comedy to me almost.
Yeah.
Like it was like a very endearing movie to me. I love one of my favorite scenes of this movie is in the bar with the rednecks and they're hitting on him. He's like, "Is this your B word? Well, you better calm her down." And Steve Zahn comes in. "What are you doing? I told you not to talk to people." And takes her out. I love.
No, he literally looks at her and goes, "Hey, thanks for keeping my B in check." He thanks them.
I love that part. Is so funny. I thought Steve Zahn just played that so. He's just the perfect. He's the perfect for that role. It was great.
Underutilized actor, even though he's been a lot.
Yeah. This was a J.J. Abrams movie, by the way.
Yes, I wrote that in my notes. I wrote produced by J.J. Abrams. I never knew that.
Whoa. Yeah, that caught me by surprise. There's just a lot of exposition at the beginning of this movie that's set up kind of slow, and it really just makes no sense. They're like, we just have to set this up for a crazy truck driver. Like, let's just get there. And we don't care how we get there, but let's try to hurry up and get there to this. Yeah. It's just like, He's driving home. He's got plane tickets.
From California to New Jersey.
Yeah. And
it seems pretty evident, like, also from the trivia, it seems pretty evident, like, isn't it obvious they had, like, a lot of reshoots?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Paul Walker's girl voice. Come on, Rusty Nail. You really fell for that, or I think you knew very much well what was on the other end of that line, buddy. Just saying.
Here's your pink champagne.
Candy cane. The very ending is just so Scooby-Doo. It's so like
phone booth.
Yeah. The ambulance, and he's still alive. It's just, come on. This was a popcorn movie, but it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, Lily Sobieski, Julia Stiles, Melissa Joan Hart, all
Helen
the same
Hunt,
person.
Young Helen Hunt.
They're all the same person.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay, she's exactly the same as these other people.
Theory from 30 Rock.
So, payphones. Jaws ripped off. It's totally a bro tale because it takes about 48 minutes to get to Lily Sobieski in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry. Laramie. That's like pretty much where I lived for 2 years.
Oh, yeah?
Most recently. Yeah, during COVID, that's where I lived. That, like, nothing land where nothing was out there. Yeah.
That's where you were?
Yeah, exactly. 30 miles from the setting of that movie, yeah.
It's very interesting because this is the rare thriller where everyone survives. Like the killer survives, the 3 main characters survive, the guy that gets his jaw ripped off survives somehow. Everyone,
except for that ice salesman guy.
He's the only one, the nicest guy in the whole movie. They're like, kill that guy.
Yeah.
We're not rooting for him in this movie.
That's true.
Literally
did the right thing.
Yeah, the only nice person in the whole movie. They're like, murder that guy.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, like, it's funny because if you just say, like, for a lot of people that were in this era, Candy Cane.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is me, Candy Cane. Like, people immediately start laughing. Yeah.
Yep.
I loved it. Seeing it again. I watched it on the airplane on my way over back to America. And it was good. It was just funny. There's a lot of stupid things that occur in this movie that are super unrealistic, super dumb. and I liked it. I missed that. I missed like a no reason dumb movie. So for me, it was definitely a popcorn, but it was a fun popcorn. I really enjoyed it. So Josh, let's get right into what you were watching this week.
All right. Well, I just was sitting with my dad watching Spider-Man 1 and 2, the original, Tobey Maguire, Willem Dafoe. Everyone knows it. I think I've reviewed it already, but Kirsten Dunst, yeah. And God, they're both good. They're both campy. They lean into the camp so hard. It's a Raimi movie through and through. Like the bank robbers have money bags, like with like and gold coins are in them. You know, the lines are corny. James Franco was the worst part of the movie. I don't know if anyone's ever mentioned that. His performance in the Spider-Man trilogy was always bad. It was like never was one line delivered well.
It was overstated for sure.
Yeah, but it was just like he doesn't even know what room he's in. It's really weird. Franco sucks. I mean, he's a good actor, but not for this one.
He also doesn't look like a high schooler after Freaks and Geeks. Like, Freaks and Geeks was the only time he kind of looked like a high schooler.
Yeah. Yeah, he did look like a high schooler in Freaks and Geeks. But he definitely looked like a full-on, like, MD. Like, 27-year-old man. But you can't... Macy Gray, shout out Macy Gray. Willem Dafoe is one of the greatest villains to ever be on TV, and that was cool. Yeah. Dr. Octopus, the fight scene was good.
3 weeks in a row with a Dafoe tie. That's crazy.
That is pretty crazy. We got to watch a Dafoe movie now. I think the train fight with Dr. Octopus and the whole sequence is one of the coolest... it's one of the coolest sequences in a superhero movie. Yeah. I think there's... I know that for the sake of the movie, when he's like stopping the train like this and he passes out, I know that that's like great cinema, but he could have like just stopped the train with a million other methods. There's so many ways he could have stopped that train. But
okay, armchair quarterback.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm with you. I hate in Spider-Man 2. I hate the 45-minute love sequence in the middle of the movie where he loses his powers.
Yeah,
like, I hate it. I hate it so much.
One of the worst things you can do is take away a superhero's powers.
Yeah.
The only time I think that was kind of done okay, but not well, was Iron Man 3. I know that's a hot take. A lot of people hate that movie, but I thought it was a good talk about PTSD, and they kind of almost got it, but not quite.
You don't get into Spider-Man to see a rom-com with Melissa Kirsten, sorry, same actress, with Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire. Like, that's not why you go see Spider-Man. You're not going to see that. If you want to go see that, you're going to go see The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. Yep. Get The Proposal out of the middle of Spider-Man.
Yeah. Truly.
Yeah.
Anyway, both of them, I'd say popcorn. Popcorn and 2, sure. The CG kind of holds up mostly, if you squint.
All right. Jordan?
I got some tattoo therapy this week, so while confined to a chair for a while, I watched Den of Thieves. This is the perfect movie to get tattooed to, by the way. It really gets you, in that just frame of mind. Like, I'm ready for that pain.
Is that O'Shea Jackson?
Yep, O'Shea Jackson's really big debut, theater film. I really like this movie, and I'm going to give a hot take here because there are some classic bank robbing kind of movies. I got to say, I don't know if it's the best quality made. This is certainly
It's 100% not the best.
This is certainly my favorite. Like, I could watch this one every other day, and there are
thief movies that have won Oscars or bankrupt. Set It Off. Set It Off is one of the best bank robbery movies of all time.
That movie is a bummer. That movie is a huge bummer.
But it's a great bank robbery movie.
Yeah, this is
and In Vogue singing that last song.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a bummer. Look, but this is just a good, fun, overall, just quality, ridiculous action, funny. It's just got a little bit of everything for you. The cat and mouse between the main guy, the roles are perfect. Gerard Butler is playing basically just everything, the same guy that Gerard Butler plays in like most of the movies he's in.
You mean like a Scottish guy trying to be American? being a badass cop.
Yeah, exactly. The cop, the gangster cop with no rules kind of guy. This movie is really, really fun. It's got what you like. Everyone in this movie is a beef boy.
Bring back beef boys.
The scenarios are cool. The twists are cool. The action is satisfying. The car chases are really satisfying. It's just tough guy crap through and through. Yeah. And I give this movie a popcorn. I wrote popcorn in 3. That's a little biased just because, my opinion.
It's your opinion. If you want to give it a pop 3, I'm not going to fight you, man. Like, I might disagree with you, but this is your opinion. We're an opinion show, not a matter-of-fact show.
No, it's facts.
In reality, this is definitely a popcorn in 2 movie. I give it a popcorn in 3.
There we go.
I love this movie. I could honestly watch this movie about every other day, and I would not complain at all.
Yeah, and let me just remind the audience of our rating system. Sorry, I always forget to do this at the beginning of the show. Yeah. It is 1 popcorn for just the movie that's either really bad or, you know what, you should see it, but it's not like going to be theatrically amazing or anything like that. And then you have a popcorn 1, which is mid-tier. That's what most of the movies are going to land in, is that popcorn in 1. Popcorn in 2 is like, look, this movie is great, but it doesn't just hit that chef's kiss somewhere. And then popcorn in 3 is the perfect movie.
Yeah.
The menu,
perfect at least,
our first butter on top. Our first butter on top, I think, was a popcorn at 3 for all of us.
Yeah,
it is for me. Yeah,
still holds up for sure.
Oh, that movie's great, and it's rewatchable. It's so rewatchable. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
So first movie I'm going to review right now is Boys Don't Cry. Like I said a couple weeks ago with Toy Story, I've noticed as I scroll through some of these movie feeds, there are some holes in my games. Just some movies that I never got around to or never wanted to see, or maybe I was too young to see. This falls in the category. I was probably too young to watch this when Hilary Swank won her Oscar for Boys Don't Cry. And in watching it, I mean, it is the ultimate indie film, and I'm watching it like this would never get nominated for an Oscar today.
Really?
Like Hillary might. But the rest of the movie, it was rough. It is an important story, especially in today's time. And honestly, it's why do humans feel like they have a right to dictate who exists? Like, that really bothers me on like a really real level, because it doesn't impact you at all. Especially here, where it uses the almost like the trick of you feed someone rabbit in a stew and they love the stew, and after they finish the stew, they're like, you ate rabbit, and they're like, ugh, that's disgusting. No, it wasn't. Like, you loved it. And it's the same thing with this. It's Hilary Swank plays a character named Brandon, who is a transgender person throughout the movie, who can't afford a sexual reassignment surgery, and it's an identity crisis for the character Brandon in the movie, because the character really believes themselves to be a boy, to be male. So they're going through this as a male that can't afford the change. So they are in a female body still, right? If that makes sense. And they're friends with this character, Brandon. They embrace this character, Brandon, and then they find out that it's a transgender person, and it all flips, right? All of a sudden you found out there's rabbit in the soup, and now you don't like the soup? Like, they're less tough? They're less your friend? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So for me, this movie really invokes that rule. I believe it was based on a true story, based on some of the lines at the end. Like, they really did kill this person, and they killed the person that was helping this person in this town in Nebraska. It will make you question a lot of things, but I think go back to that rabbit stew analogy I made. The Robert Stew.
Robert Stew.
That sounds like the nerd in your class that like ate paste. But it's, you got to think about that and understand, like, this doesn't impact your life at all, in any way. Nothing that people do impacts you. Like, not in a grocery store, not in a food place. Literally, if you're, standing in line for food, are you just not going to order food now? No, of course you're going to order that Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. So get that out of here. And Chick-fil-A is still going to serve them. So Chick-fil-A can shut up too. You know why? The famous line by Michael Jordan. Why does Michael Jordan not speak out on politics? Because Republicans buy shoes too. All right. So this movie is it's definitely a popcorn at 1, maybe a popcorn, because it is from the soundtrack for the ultimate independent film.
Wow.
Ultimate indie film. It's like, you're like, wow, this is really indie. No, like royalty free, like down, and then like when it's really serious.
Seinfeld.
Yeah. You're like, what is happening? All right, Josh, what was next?
Oh, I only had Guardians of the Galaxy Part 1. Rewatched that last night. And boy, oh boy, what a good movie. It still holds up. It's still fantastic. It's a setup for the one of the greatest trilogies in Marvel or ever. I don't know. One of the greatest. I don't know. The soundtrack still kills. The characters are so well hewn that this is going to be a borderline timeless film, comparable with not as far as like the iconism and all this stuff, but I think it could be in the same ballpark or at least facility as a Star Wars. It's just a great film. It's a popcorn in 3. I totally forgot that Guardians of the Galaxy was like the one that allowed MCU to really open up, because now we have talking trees. So like there's this whole thing with superhero movies where you can't get too ridiculous. You don't want Wolverine in the yellow suit. You want Wolverine in black leather. That's more believable. And they do a lot of they've made a lot of those tiny mistakes before that. Guardians of the Galaxy was definitely among, if not the one, that really changed the game, the whole landscape of superhero movies. Now we can do whatever we want. We can bring Squirrel Girl in. We can we made a movie about the Eternals. Who would have ever... Well, no one watched it. But anyway.
I liked it.
So, big time movie.
Wes made me go see that in 4D, and I didn't really know what that meant. Do you guys know what that is?
The chair moves?
Yeah, your chair moves and stuff. And I had a bottle of wine and some nachos. I was pissed. I was so mad.
It's too bad you can't turn that shit off, like individually. You know,
I'm like trying to eat a nacho and getting cheese sauce all over my beard. It's like the meme of Will Ferrell sitting in the massage chair drinking the wine.
Stop shooting lasers.
All right, so Jordan.
Yeah, the last movie that I watched for this week. I watched some TV as well, but we're gonna finish with the movie. The last movie I watched this last night, was The Long Game on Netflix, starring Dennis Quaid. And if you don't pay attention, Dennis Quaid is a bit of a right-wing troll these days. So this was his PR trying to work overtime. Like, look, I'm Hispanic friendly. I am a man of the Hispanic people. Because this is a sports movie about a team of golfers in Texas from, rural Santa Fe.
Santa Fe's in New Mexico.
Sorry, El Paso. Something like that. And
geography is not what he teaches. Don't worry. He teaches history.
The main character is the what do you want to say? The Great Value, like Michael Pena guy. He's in like a lot of stuff. You recognize him if you saw him, but he's a military vet. Comes back from Vietnam, and he is the superintendent of the high school. And he tries to join the country club in town, and they're like, the other members don't want to see a Mexican on the golf course. So he's like, damn. So he decides, okay, and there's these local kids. He finds them out hitting golf balls out.
Jay Hernandez,
out hitting golf balls out in the countryside. So he's like, look, these kids, I'm going to coach them to be golfers, so I can kind of spit in the face of the people that said Mexicans don't belong on the golf course. But he's also self-serving, like, oh, if I make these kids good golfers, they'll let me into the country club. And there's just a lot, and then racial tension and things ensue, and this and that. There's just some. The movie starts. It's a little bit ridiculous. The whole movie is just a little bit. It starts with him having war. It starts with him having war flashbacks, hitting the ball out of a sand trap, but he's like having Vietnam flashbacks while he's doing it. But then it also. Like boom,
sand trap.
It's like boom, and the sand flies in the air. But then it's just him hitting the ball, and the sand is like, but then it zooms out even further, and he's really just in his backyard, slapping golf balls into like a mattress. He's never really in a sand trap, and he's never really in the war. So it's like a inception of what is happening here.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The jokes aspect of this movie where they try to lighten it up. Like, yes, we are aware that we are Mexicans playing golf. It's not very typical of this time. Yeah. It's not very typical of this time period. Like, I just mean like in a professional sense. You don't see a lot of professional big Hispanic golfers.
How many this ain't soccer jokes is there in this movie?
Yeah. No, exactly. That's in there.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even have to be like that wasn't even a tough guess.
No. Yeah. But the jokes they're pretty funny, some of them. But it's the straight dialogue where I don't know how many times they can try to make an analogy of life being as golf. Like, it don't matter what you do, you gotta if a man can get out of a bunker, he can get out of anything. You just gotta keep chasing that flag. It's over.
This is your one chance to hit them in their little white balls.
That's a good one, man. That's the one that they missed that one for sure.
I like how they always try to make golf such a noble game when, like, you go to any course in America and they're just getting hammered between holes.
Yeah.
Fighting each other
everywhere.
Arguing with each other because one group's taking too long.
Oh, yeah. I have seen golf course fights, and they aren't pretty. Between some old men and, Cheech Marin. Cheech Marin is in this movie as the country club's groundskeeper guy, and they shed light on something that I had no idea about. So back then, they didn't have a golf cart that you drove around in that picked up the range balls. It was just a man in like this paper mache structure thing. Like it's like a suit that goes over his head, and he kind of just looks like this paper mache Iron Man out there. And he picks up the golf balls by hand, and it's pretty funny to see. Yeah, it's a watchable movie. I would say watch this movie, but I give it a popcorn and one. Popcorn and one.
Well, my next movie is The Young Woman and the Sea, which is also a popcorn and one. But definitely, like, these are every movie I watch. I feel like we need right now as we go into the last 4 months of our election to remind us, like, these are the things that matter, and these are the things we fought so many years for, and they didn't impact our democracy at all. They just made us stronger. Well, negatively, pardon me. They didn't impact our democracy negatively at all. They simply just made us stronger as a unit. They made us more accepting, more intelligent, more cultured, and we're hitting reverse on that, and it really pisses me off. I think I said last week, the only people that have made me hate the church are people from the church. Like, that's it. Like, if it just existed, I would have no thought one way or the other. But I don't choose to live my life by your ideals or what you think is right in your book that was written thousands of years ago, which most of the shit you guys quote isn't even in that book. So,
back to the movies.
Sorry, Oklahoma. I apologize. This is really going to piss Oklahoma off. So this movie's about women getting rights. And so The Young Woman of the Sea, it's based on a true story of a woman, the first woman that swam the English Channel, and she did this breaking all the men's records. She actually broke all the men's record and ended up in the most difficult part of the sea and had to finish out her journey there, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. I mean, it's pretty clear she makes it if you watch the trailer, by the way. But I don't want to do any spoilers. She had the measles as a child, so she eventually did go deaf. And the biggest worry was the water in the ears would make her go deaf faster. But that's all she ever wanted to do was swim. And everything was against her. It was 1926. And it was women aren't real athletes. Women belong in the kitchen. Women belong in arranged marriages. And she was a German immigrant. And her father was like, no American man wants to marry a German immigrant, pretty much. So he would try to set them up with successful Germans. Sorry, I didn't mean to giggle at that. That's not okay. But I'm giggling because
I was giggling because Daisy Ridley's beautiful ass is not getting picked by every. You know what I mean? Like, what? Maybe recast the role.
So, and she does look nothing like the real person, because they show pictures of the real person. She looks nothing like the. Good job with the dad, though. Good job with the dad, as far as the pictures of the dad. Oh, rewind. Twisters. The mom, closet for best character in Twisters. Anyway, Kate's mom, closet for best character in the whole movie.
I love her as a character actress. Yeah. I always love her and stuff.
So perfect. Essentially, what I was laughing at was her father tries to set her up with a German that wants to come over to America, and he doesn't speak very much English, and his father is like a renowned nuts farmer and nut seller and in Germany, and the only word he knows in English is nuts. So it's almost like, when you're on a bad blind date, like call me and tell me my kitchen's on fire or something. So the daughter acts like the sister, acts like she falls over the edge of the pier, and Daisy Ridley's character has to go save her, and she pulls her in. And they're both great swimmers, obviously, so they swim. But the German guy doesn't know they're both great swimmers, and he doesn't know any English words, so he's like, nuts! Nuts! And he just starts yelling nuts running down the pier. And then, after the girls are, in their blanket making fun of him, they're like, nuts! Nuts! Because they're swimming. But that was really funny. You see a lot of what the perception was and maybe the reality of how hard people tried to keep women down in the early 1900s. And still now, today, it's still going on, and you see it in the news. Yep. And they basically said, do you know how bad this will be for men if she actually swims the English Channel? That was their concern. Right. To the point where they poisoned her first attempt. They poisoned her with a sleeping pill to upset her stomach while she was swimming so she wouldn't make it because she was making great time. And it took somebody that had already crossed the English Channel to be like, no, there's no way you just suddenly got sick. He's like, you were swimming at this speed for this many miles, and then all of a sudden you just stop? He's like, no, someone did something to you. And they figure out what happened. And they also did the same thing with the first women's swim team, that went to the Olympics. They basically sabotaged their own Olympic team to make them not get any sponsorship or any money.
Wow.
Yeah, so the character's name is Trudy Ederle. The mom, again, steals the show. The German mom's hilarious. When she eventually does it, there's a funny joke with the son because they're celebrating, and the mom stops the celebration. She goes, okay, we go home now. It's bedtime. And the brother's like, but Mom, Trudy just crossed the English Channel. And she slaps him in the face. She goes, but you did nothing, and you have school in the morning.
Nice.
So, yeah, it is a pop one, but I think it's an important movie, and I think we really need to watch it so we're not doomed to make the same mistakes of our past, relive them.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to rattle through some movies really quick because I know we're going to get to the TV shows, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
Hit it.
All right. So the next movie I watched was The Good Liar, starring Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren, by the way, what a fox.
Always and forever.
Yeah. What a fox, Helen Mirren. Fantastic in this movie. It is a suspense drama. It is a con artist movie. And it's really one of those movies where you're like, who is conning who? And it takes a terribly dark twist. In fact, through most of the movie, I like it's a pop one. But because of the twist, I'm going to upgrade it to a pop 2 because it is a terribly, terribly dark twist. It is really disgusting. And you're like in shock after the twist. The twist, I had to rewind it because I was doing that thing where I'm half paying attention, half doing something else, half paying attention on the flight. And when the twist happens, I was like, what? And I just kept rewinding it. And it's Helen Mirren revealing why it is what happens has happened. And I was like, I cannot. This is crazy. So Ian McKellen, how do you pronounce his name?
Ian McKellen.
Okay, Ian McKellen, Magneto, is fantastic. Okay? He is fantastic. You hate him. He is so deplorable in this movie. So that's the sign of someone that's doing a fantastic job in their role. So again, that one's going to be a popcorn and 2. Next up, I watched Date Night. And let me just rattle off, Steve Carell, Tina Fey, headliners in this. Great movie, funny rom-com. It's just a funny movie that, like Jordan always says, put on in the background while you're folding laundry or whatever.
Yeah.
And let me just rattle off the cast, though. Taraji P. Henson. Ray Liotta. You got Mila Kunis. You got Mark Wahlberg. You got James Franco. You've got Steve Carell. You've got Tina Fey. You got it's like a who's who in this movie of characters. Skarsgård's in the movie. Common's in the movie.
Wow.
It's just stacked. It's got like the most stacked cast. I'm not gonna go. JB Smoove is in the movie.
Love JB Smoove.
Yes, Mila Kunis crushes it in her short time in the movie. Just absolutely kills it while she's in the movie. James Franco, whatever. But she crushed her role. Like, she was amazing in it. And there's other great actors and actresses in this film as well. It is a popcorn and 1, but it will make you laugh. For the love of God, put on a fucking shirt. With Steve Carell talking to Mark Wahlberg. I love the conversation outside of Mark Wahlberg's house between Tina Fey and Mark Wahlberg, or part of Tina Fey and Steve Carell, where she's like, he goes, you have hundreds of clients. How do you just remember this one? Like, what is it about this character, this client that you remember? He didn't even buy a house from you, right? No, he chose to go to a different realtor. Why do you remember him so well? And then he opens the door with his shirt off. I think this is also the dawn of Wonder Woman. Why did her name just run away from me?
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. I think this is also the dawn of Gal Gadot because she comes down and she's speaking Israeli.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious?
No, this is before Fast and Furious, I think. She has like no lines in this. She only speaks Israeli.
Oh.
Yeah. Her character's really funny too. She's like, "Are these two that we're going to have? Are you two make sex with us?" And then Steve Carell just loses it laughing. But popcorn and one. But you should absolutely see this movie. Jordan, what's the first show you're going to review?
Disney Plus's Star Wars edition, The Acolyte. The Acolyte, and I think we've mentioned the first few episodes when it first premiered, came out, and so this is really mostly a thing of the finale, but I'm gonna keep it spoiler free. There's a terrible CG like how do I describe it? It's just like very bad martial arts film style editing of a very, very pivotal fight
disagree.
Sequence. At the end,
I disagree wholeheartly. I don't know if I've ever disagreed with you more.
The bridge jump scene where they're fighting the master, the Asian man, and the Sith Lord guy fighting, and they jump out of a bridge and they do this whole like matrixy slow rotation thing, and
it was awesome.
Oh my god, that was awful. I did not like that. I think the main girl's a really good actress. I think they gave her a tall task and she did what she could with it. I think they asked her to play something that
it's Chimera is who you're talking about, and he was fighting Soul.
Yes. Yeah. The main actress who is Osha and
Amandla Stenberg.
Yes. And what's her evil arts? May. Yeah. This whole thing could have easily went very wrong, and I think she played it well to where she really saved how bad this could have been. The motivations and stuff get way too muddy. The bad guy looks really awesome, and I think that actor did a very good job in this show. I think he mostly carried this show.
Chimera?
Yes.
From The Good Place?
He was really cool. I liked his
Manny
character
Jacinto from The Good Place?
Yeah. Come on. The bad sister is just wrong. She tried to kill her. Like, I don't want you to be a Jedi. I'm going to kill you. and then set the place on fire. Like, she tries to play like this whole, like, they try to make you sympathetic to her. And you're like, no, you tried to kill your twin sister as a young girl for really no reason. And screw the little otter man.
You don't like him?
No. What was his intent? Like, whose side was he on the whole time?
May. He has a crush on May.
Does he? I didn't get that. Because he's a little otter man and has no dialogue and just does stupid. He's just really unnecessary. Really
Yord spoke his language because remember, Yord refused to learn a simple language like Wookiee, so he learned the difficult language of the otter man.
Oh my god. This show, it's a popcorn in one. It just felt like an incomplete story. It didn't really go anywhere meaningful. It needs a season 2, honestly. I think it's got me on the hook enough to watch a season 2. But they haven't announced it, so I don't know if they're going to make it because I don't know how successful this was in like review wise. Critically, I don't know how good it was. It leaves a lot to be desired. So this was a popcorn in one, barely. I think I sneak it into a popcorn in one.
It was better than Ahsoka. Popcorn in 2 for me. The lightsaber battles were fantastic. Jordan smoking crack, and that's okay.
The lightsaber, some of them were cool. Just that one sequence was not good.
The double boomerang, the force push, the samurai slash between Chimera and Soul.
The bridge sequence, that specific one singular part was very bad.
OSHA, I'm never great with the conflicted crybaby character. I'm just not. I think it's stupid. I do. I think it's played out. Like, okay, we've had Luke already. We don't need 1,000 Lukes, okay? Yeah. Even Daisy Ridley's character was another Luke. This is another Luke. Like, enough. Make them be original. That's my only request. Like, make them be original. Also, I wanted more of the lightsaber whip. We only see the lightsaber whip from Vernestra one time on a moth. Give me that lightsaber whip, baby. Like, let's see that thing at work, right? You meet the masters, by the way. You find out that Chimera is just an apprentice. Chimera is not a lord. And then you meet the Vernestra's master as well. And I'm not going to spoil it because that was a pretty big reveal. I don't want to spoil it either here, but you know what? Screw it.
It's Darth Plagueis. That's Chimera's master.
Cool. And it would be cool if we got more. So hopefully a season 2 is on the way. Because you see him, and it's almost like this voyeuristic type style you see him in. Yeah. I don't know if I need sexual tension introduced into my Star Wars. Like, I don't know if that's what I need. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, so where does this put us in the timeline? Like hundreds of years before the Skywalker?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. It's way before the Order. So it's a long way in the future. Because remember, Yoda's like 400 years old during the Order. So during Episode 1. So it's way before that. But I thought it was good, Jordan. I thought there was a lot in the middle. The middle was a lot of fat that was unnecessary. But you find out a lot, and you find out why the Jedi start to turn the Senate against them. So I give this one a popcorn and 2. The next show I was watching was Vikings Valhalla. I'm just going to say it's the Viking fights that you want to see. It's the rise of King Harold in Norway. It's a lot of backstabbing and deception, a lot of chess in the Viking series. This takes place after the Viking series that aired on the History Channel. So if you like the Vikings fights, if you like Turkey, if you like Constantinople, I think you're going to like Vikings Valhalla on Netflix. I give this one a popcorn and 1. Jordan?
Speaking of Vikings, I watched Receiver, which is the short little biopic that covers a bunch of NFL receivers, one being the Vikings' Justin Jefferson, who unfortunately didn't get his due this season because he was injured all of last season, and I bet Netflix was pissed off because he's the guy. He's the guy that everyone wants to see. But me, I loved it as a 49er fan because we had got 2 49ers in this show. We had George Kittle and Deebo Samuel covered from the 49ers. And Kittle is he's great. He's so funny. He looks like he's having so much fun out there. He's a little bit on the annoying side, a little bit just too immature. Like on the field, I'd be like, dude, I'm trying to be locked in the zone here, and you're goofing off too much.
You're goofing.
But his support system is fantastic. The traditions he has with his family and the way that they support him is just like unbelievable. Devontae Smith, and this is not just my inner Raider hater. Devontae Smith just objectively has a terrible attitude.
Yeah, he hates them.
He has that toxic diva, just that receiver, that Chad Ochocinco, Terrell Owens kind of cancerous locker room vibe to him.
But that's because Josh McDaniels sucks.
Yeah, he really soured him out of that. Yeah. Amon-Ra St. Brown is that guy. He is just that guy. He's tough. He is I'm just a huge fan of him these days. Deebo Samuel's more personable than they lead you to believe. The production of this overall is great. I give this show a popcorn and 3. Watch it.
Popcorn and 3.
Yeah.
Is that your last one, Jordan?
No. I have The Boys season 4. And this was another great season. It's on par with all the other seasons. I don't think I would give any season so far anything less than a popcorn and 3. This is a popcorn and 3 as well.
Wow.
They embrace it, but this one is just a full-on direct in-your-face embrace of parroting the right wing and what is the things said and the actions, because these are things that they're bringing in that are very recently happening. It's like, when did they film this? It's almost as if they're predicting the future, because literally they're doing things that are just happening like now. Yeah, it's kind of eerie. It's a great setup for the next season. Mostly, like, this isn't like last season. You got like a lot of this crazy, it was very climactic, very heavy, big last season. So this one is a little bit of a build up and a setup, but you also get a lot of that satisfying, crazy stuff happening that you don't expect. Ryan has to be one of the top 10 most unlikable characters in all of television ever. The kid. He is so annoying. Such a little dweeb. Such a little wimp.
Stop having children solve adult problems.
Yeah.
Bring back beef kids.
He is just not good. I don't like him. But this is a popcorn 3. The finale, absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. There are some criticisms out there that, if I mention, might spoil something, so I'm not going to, because this has to be watched. And no. Popcorn 3.
I love it. Jordan, thank you so much. I can't wait to finish that series season. We're on to my drunk classic. And again, I'm going to give you guys a film that I think everybody should watch. So I hope the audience joins us in watching IDIOCRACY.
Yay!
Luke Wilson.
Very relevant.
Yeah, I think it's – thank you, Jordan. I think it's very relevant right now. I think it is something that we absolutely all have to watch as a nation. And, of course, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 6 months, you know that the trilogy of Deadpool comes to an end in Deadpool and Wolverine. So we will have our butter on top be Deadpool and Wolverine this weekend. So join us at the theaters. As always, you get the popcorn, we got the beer.